This hour of the Howie Carr Show is brought to you in part by Piantadosi Baking Company, celebrating 100 years of baking excellence since 1916. You know, they're trying to switch the Donald Trump electors in the Electoral College. The vote is in, I think it's December 19th, somewhere in there. And somebody on the text line mentioned out this is like the 5 stages of death. You know, first day of grief. The first stage is denial. You know, no, this can't happen to me because I'm a good person. Then comes anger. I guess that's, you know, like pulling a white guy out of a truck in Chicago and beating him senseless, or shooting up a bridge in Portland. Then comes bargaining. So we're at the third stage. We're at the third stage now of the 5 stages of grief. Then will come depression, and then will come on January 20th acceptance. At least that's what I'm thinking. Ann Coulter, are you with me? Are you there? How are you doing, Ann?
Oh, I'm holding up. I'm fantastic, Howie. How are you?
Very good. Have you got your therapy puppy there with you and your Play-Doh?
And my diaper pins. I love that they're wearing diaper pins.
Yeah, that's a good one too. There's so many. Here's another new development that just moved over the wire. Brown University, Providence, Rhode Island. I was admitted there. Brown students tore up throughout American flags at Veterans Day ceremony. I guess this is part of the grief process, Ann.
Yeah, you know, if they were to rerun the election after having seen how liberals reacted, I think Trump would have carried a few more states. They managed to control themselves, not too much rioting in the last 6 months before the election, but wow, it is a divided country between drama queens and normal people.
Yeah, it really is hard. I mean, I thought it would go on for like a couple of nights in places like New York and L.A. and Cambridge, right? Yeah, but they seem to be having a good time. Rush actually said today that he found something on eBay or Craigslist. They were looking for more rioters. They were offering them $12 to $15 an hour. I guess it depends on how far you can throw a Molotov cocktail. Are they having tryouts for these rioting teams?
No, that's why I liked that tweet of Trump saying that these were paid protesters ginned up by the media. They manifestly are paid protesters. I mean, ginned up by the media. They're also just, some random street criminals and college kids looking for a party and the usual complement of fat girls and that you will find in any protest. But yeah, of course these are planned protests. I love this idea that it's a spontaneous uprising.
There's a proactive element here too, because once Donald Trump gets rid of the Roe v. Wade, I mean, who's to say he's not going to bring back prohibition? You got to take out a liquor store here and there. So load up on gin, tequila, vodka.
No, it's odd that the complaints they have. I mean, it's just the usual list of parade of horribles from the Communist Party, and I'm not using that as a term of abuse. You see these signs with, answer Spartacusly. It literally is communist. But to throw in the claims of the anti-gay thing, Trump was more pro-gay than Hillary was. He cited LGBTQ in his convention speech. The post-Orlando shooting speech was all about how we need to protect gays and can't be bringing in people whose religion teaches them that gays need to be slaughtered in these mass slaughters at gay nightclubs. He hasn't even talked that much about abortion. I mean, yes, he's pro-life and he'll appoint justices who will allow us, I hope, eventually just to vote on it. It's not as if, I think a lot of people don't understand, probably not your listeners, but stupid college girls. When Roe v. Wade is overturned, that does not make abortion illegal. All it means is we revert to a little practice known as democracy, and people get to vote. Abortion, I promise you, will always be legal in Massachusetts, in New York, in California. Most other states will probably have parental notifications, and abortion laws will be what most people think they are today.
Right. Well,
first trimester.
Well, did you watch the thing on 60 Minutes last night? Leslie Stahl it was the same BS. She asked him about Roe v. Wade, and he just explained it the way you did, which is nobody's going to tell people they can't have an abortion. They're just going to say it's up to the states to decide. And then of course she goes, well, some people will be living in states where they can't get an abortion. I mean, there's an answer for it. There's a victim for everything. Whatever you say, there's a victim. You can't win.
Yes, I know. This is why we have democracy. This is part of the beauty of our federalist society.
Yeah, so you live in New Jersey and you can't get an abortion, go to New York. Yes, but the bus has a flat tire. I mean,
the beauty part of federalism is people can design the kind of place they would like to live in. If you consider it intolerable to live in a state, and there probably won't be too many, Kansas, Mississippi, that by and largely prohibits abortions, except in the case of life of the mother, which has always been the case. Don't live in that state. There are probably a lot of laws you're not going to like in a state like that. But you don't have to up and move to another country. You don't have to found your own country or start seasteading or something. That's the beauty part of democracy. There are a lot of laws you may not like, but you can. The more you break it down to the smaller unit, whether it's local government or state government, the more likely you are to be happy with that complement of laws.
Did you see Andrew Cuomo today has announced that the state of New York is open for all gays and Muslims who feel threatened? Did you see that? Gays and Muslims.
Little contradictory.
Exactly. It's not only contradictory, but he wants to make sure that there's nothing terrible going to happen to anybody who has a minority viewpoint in New York City or New York State. But this is what he said. This is what he said.
Conservative.
Yeah. Wait. Listen to this, though. This is Andrew Cuomo who, opened the doors for everybody who feels threatened today. This is Andrew Cuomo in 2014.
Who are they? Are they these extreme conservatives who are right to life, pro-assault weapon, anti-gay? Is that who they are? Because if that's who they are, and if they are the extreme conservatives, they have no place in the state of New York.
Which
yes,
is it?
I recall that. But the main thing that strikes me there is that is the slowest talker. Only someone who is not used to going on TV and being interrupted would talk so slowly.
I don't think Hillary is going to go to jail, Ann. But if I were Andrew Cuomo, I would worry about saying these kinds of things, considering the fact that his Mario Cuomo's third son, his closest political confidant, has just been indicted like last month. Did you know this, right? I mean, I think Preet Bharara or whatever his name is would have liked to indicted Andrew Cuomo a couple of times, and why is he saying these things? Does he think he's going to get a pass if he says these nutty moonbat things? He's corrupt.
It's very strange. There is a form of mass psychosis that has seized the rich elites in our country. They just love pretending they're under attack. And I mean, that is one of the greatest ones. We're going to protect Muslims and gays. No, you need to protect the gays from the Muslims.
I know. It doesn't make any sense. I got a flashback for you, Ann. Just you could take a bow after we listen to this one. Cut 14.
Republican candidate has the best chance of winning the general election.
Of the declared ones, right now, Donald Trump.
They were laughing at you, Ann.
Laughter.
They were laughing at you.
Yes, they're little. That's how they respond. Yeah, that's good.
That's
good. But the best one was if you see the video of it. Joy Ann Reid or whatever her name is was on the show with me, and for the next week there were all these items on like Salon and Huffington Post. Watch Joy Ann Reid destroy Ann Coulter with a look. I love those.
When are you going to have
all caps.
When are you going to have your next appearance with Joy Ann Reid, whoever the hell she is?
Well, there's a reason I'm blacklisted from most of the media. The exchanges don't go as well as they'd hope.
So I loved your column, the first 100 things for Trump to do, and they were all the same thing: to build the wall, build the wall. I love it. I love that stuff. But let me move it a little forward here. What did you think of Reince Priebus and Steve Bannon being appointed basically co-chiefs of staff?
I think it's quite brilliant. I'm very impressed with Trump and this decision because the chief of staff role can be kind of a snooze. I mean, a lot of what the chief of staff does, it's administrative stuff. He has to make sure the lights are working, everybody gets an office space assigned, the secretaries are working with the right, if they even have secretaries anymore. They probably don't with computers. But there's a lot of the administrative stuff that, frankly, we don't want Steve Bannon wasting his time on. Steve Bannon will be the ideas guy, and Reince Priebus will be, the official representative, and he can go on the Sunday morning shows, and he can make sure that the heat's on.
Oh,
it was very clever.
But I mean, don't you think that could be like, usually though you want one guy or one person in charge of anything, right? Don't you? I mean, co-consuls didn't work all that well going back to the days of the Roman Empire most of the time.
Well, here I don't know the details, but it seems to me the roles are fairly distinct. One is the administrative guy, the organization man, and the other one is the ideas guy, basically the way it seems to have worked during the campaign, and that seems to work pretty well. I mean, if they are, as I expect, their roles are distinct. They won't even be disagreeing about anything unless Bannon wants higher voltage light bulbs in all the offices or a different parking spot. I don't mean to make the chief of staff look the jobs look so silly, but it is more of an organization type thing. You do need to be a smart person to be the head of it. Some people like that. Some people like the ideas stuff. And Bannon is definitely the idea man.
So what's up with the Democrats, Ann? I just, I'm teeing these up for you. I mean, by the way, last week when we had you on, were you kind of down in the dumps? You sound a little bit down.
Well, the day of, so yes,
Tuesday,
last
I guess
Monday,
it was. Tuesday you were on.
Yeah. That was the first time, and it wasn't that I had really changed my technical prediction. I thought from the beginning, as I think I've said to you many times, 90% likely Trump wins the nomination, 60% likely he wins the presidency. It's just, 40% chance of it being the end of the country. It's one thing when it's a few months away. When I knew I was going to know that within 24 hours, and there's a 40%, it's as if there would be no point, as I may have said to you before, maybe I didn't because I didn't want to depress everyone, there would be no point to caring about politics if Hillary had won. And I would add at this point, a very important point, if this exact election had taken place 4 years later, imagine Obama were given a third term. Under our current immigration policies, Trump would have lost. A lot of those states he won, it was 48-49, and they're flying in immigrants from Central America. They're making them citizens as fast as they can. We're getting Somalis, dumped all over, and they're moving them specifically to the states they need to flip. Another 4 years, and it would be over. And so to be facing, even if I thought it was more likely than not that Trump was going to win, that's still a large possibility of the end of our country.
Yeah, Rush was saying today that maybe we overestimated that, the gloom and doom and the apocalyptic vision. But I don't think so, Ann. I'm with you. I still believe this was a close run thing, and we really, really dodged a big bullet here. I think.
And I would add that this is just the beginning of much like I was just saying about Roe v. Wade. When Roe v. Wade isn't overturned, that doesn't accomplish anything except allow the possibility of restricting abortions in this way or that way in some states. We only have the possibility of saving the country right now. It's not done. We got to keep our are powder dry, and particularly because, I mean, you have that entire D.C. bureaucracy. No one is worth a damn in Washington, D.C., even the ones you think of as your friends, and they are all applying for jobs. You have the permanent bureaucracy, so it's going to be a lot of work for Donald Trump to get the right people in the right positions and hopefully clear out a lot of those civil servants.
Do you think he's going soft on immigration?
No.
I don't either.
No. He's not a stupid man. He's basically had the same position from the beginning. He adds nuance when the idiots in the media don't understand nuance or figures of speech. But I think he knows if he doesn't build the wall and doesn't start just letting ICE do its job, hiring some more ICE agents, in fact, if he doesn't build the wall, what allows him to shoot someone on Fifth Avenue and not have his supporters desert him will go away, and then they can kill him with a paper cut. And he has to know, both parties and the media, they would love to impeach him, they would love a scandal, and unless he has the country, his supporters behind him, who are 100% fanatically behind him right now, only if he betrays them will he be taking his armor off.
And Coulter, thanks for being with us again. Your new book is In Trump We Trust, and I assume it's really selling wildly again now that he's won. What?
It ought to. All these people are going to be rushing out crap-ass books explaining how he did it. No, I wrote how he was going to do it before he did it.
That's right. And you were there. You were there at the beginning. Thank you, Ann Coulter.
As were you. Happy Trump Week.
Happy Trump Week. I will see you on an island shortly, Ann. I'm Howie Carr.
There's only one Howie Carr.